Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Titanfall gameplay. The score in the background is an 18-2. Now, unfortunately, when I say 18-2, I actually cut out the end of this gameplay, so you guys don't get to see all of that. You don't get to see my 2 deaths and a couple more of my kills, because basically the gameplay fizzles out towards the end. It was an 8 minutes and 30 gameplay, and I really didn't think it was relevant to post all of it, because I think the main highlight of this gameplay was my starting route, because I think I had one of the best starting routes I've had to a Titanfall game, period, including the beta footage. I just kind of go ham. Honestly, you know, I've had a lot of experience with this shotgun, and a lot of people have called it out as being almost underpowered, especially as the smart pistol is kind of a close-range gun that you don't have to aim with. So, like, the shotgun versus the smart pistol, some people might say, well, you know, why use the shotgun where you have to aim, you have to, you know, constantly be moving and be worried, when you could just use the smart pistol, which is really good close range and mid range, and it targets players automatically. And I kind of understand that, but the shotgun just definitely, you have to approach the gameplay with a completely different state of mind. The carbine is more about, you know, acquiring power positions, getting on top of high buildings, and making sure you have the map locked down. It's definitely about positioning to some extent, whereas the shotgun is more about harassing the enemy team, guerrilla warfare, getting in and out of dangerous situations, and it's kind of like you're just performing hit and runs. You need to get out when the going gets tough, but you kind of try and see how much you can get away with whilst you're there, and that's really exciting to me. You know, I lean towards the more aggressive gameplay, and the shotgun, it's definitely possible to do that. As you can see, I'm boarding the Strider Titan. The Strider Titan is one of my favorite things in the entire game. Honestly, during the beta, I was kind of bummed out that you weren't able to use the Strider. You could only use it using burn cards, so I only really got 3 opportunities to get on board one. And the problem is with these burn cards is that, you know, at the beginning of the game, if you've got a Strider burn card, you're going to want to use that straight away off the bat because you're greedy. You're like, I'm going to go destroy some people with a Strider. But because the Strider's a more vulnerable Titan, it doesn't have very much health, and because you're the only Titan out on the field because you've called it in so early, then you just become this massive target which everyone wants to go for. And as a Strider, that's definitely not what you want. The Strider kind of needs to blend in with his fellow Titans and maybe hide behind an Ogre or two. The Ogres are very tanky. In my experience in the game so far, the majority of people have been using the Ogre, which is really interesting to me, because personally I think the Strider is better. And just for this game, you know, I understand the mentality behind using the Ogre, because a lot of people get in their Titans and they die very early, and that frustrates them. So it's like, oh, well, the logical conclusion is to get a Titan with more health. But I personally think that, you know, the fact that you're being harassed by all these pilots can get really frustrating, and it's very dangerous just being out in the open streets, because any pilot could see you from any direction. They could get on you, rodeo you, they could fire missiles at you, etc. So having this Strider to be able to weave in and out of situations is exciting to me. And I think if you're able to master the movement to a certain degree, then the fact that the Strider's weak shouldn't really affect you. It's just all about your timings, getting in and out of situations, and playing with your teammates, playing to your teammates' strengths. And I suppose that's really what I love about the game most of all so far, is that the game manages to do an incredible job of catering to a variety of different playstyles. You know, if you're one of these guys who wants to come in and bowl down an enemy team, run into their spawns, and just literally obliterate them at the back of the map, you can do that. You know, there's options for that kind of player, that aggressive rusher who just wants to put pressure on the enemy team as much as they can. But then at the same time, if you're a more turtle-ish player, if you find solace in defensive play, in just, you know, practicing your marksmanship, there's options for that as well. And neither one seems to frustrate me. It always feels like you're being outplayed the majority of the time. Obviously, you're going to get the occasional scumbag who's lying in between 2 boxes and trolling you with some sort of grenade launcher. You know, that's going to happen. It's going to happen in any game. Unfortunately, that is a product of FPS ever since the early days of Call of Duty. But it feels like they've really done a good job of minimizing frustration, and I really enjoy that. I mean, having a ton of fun with the game, and I hope you guys honestly take my recommendation to pick up this game, because I think it's a hell of a lot of fun. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. Thanks for watching. Peace.